Welcome back, everyone, and happy Earth Day. This year is a special celebration because it's the 50th anniversary of Earth Day. Today, we often associate April 22nd with recycling, planting trees, enjoying time outside in nature, or picking up trash along the side of a road. Well, these are all nice things to do. Do they really represent the true meaning of Earth Day? And are they really the actions needed to stop this climate crisis? In our video today, we will explore the origins of Earth Day, which dates back to the 1960s and the anti-war movement, to fully understand the purpose of Earth Day and how to act today that will benefit all people moving forward. So, to understand the circumstances leading up to the great success that was Earth Day 1970, the first Earth Day, we must paint a picture of what life was like in the 1960s in America. Large automobiles consumed huge amounts of leaded gas, puffing it out into the atmosphere without concern. At the same time, factories across the country polluted the air to oblivion, and soon air pollution was accepted as a new normal. The burn in your workers' lungs became the price to pay for profit. The general public had no idea that the smog in the air was hurting not only the environment, but also themselves and their families. Water pollution also became a threat, with oil spills damaging natural habitats. We were treating Earth like trash. And most people did not know any better. But some people had the courage to speak up. A collective eye began to face their destructive behaviors with the publication of Silent Spring in 1962. The book shed light onto the negative environmental effects of pesticides on crops. The book sold over 1 million copies and raised awareness towards how human behaviors affected the environment. Another event that led to the creation of Earth Day were the anti-war teach-ins, which began in 1965 at the University of Michigan at Ann Arbor. Teach-ins are meetings where people discuss an issue to raise awareness. At the time, teach-ins were to protest the Vietnam War, and many students became in charge and began to run the movement. We will come back to how these teach-ins relate back to Earth Day. This now brings us to the Santa Barbara oil spill of 1969, and the founder of Earth Day, Gaylord Nelson, a Democratic senator from Wisconsin. He already had been concerned about environmental issues for a while, but seeing this horrific event prompted him to action. He was inspired by the student anti-war movement, and he announced his ideas for a teach-in on the environment and the impacts people had on it. During my research for this video, I unveiled a surprise bit of information, at least to my eyes. Nelson went to Pete McCloskey, a Republican congressman, to be his co-chair on this idea. My whole life, I have only known political parties in America to be polarizing and almost never agree on any major issues. Seeing a Democrat and Republican work together to raise awareness gave me hope. Only 50 years ago, these types of exchanges were plausible. If it could happen then, why not now? The other man greatly credited with the success of Earth Day was Denis Hayes. At the time, Hayes was only 25, and he went on to organize the mass mobilization of 20 million Americans, which was 10% of the country at the time. He truly shows the power of young people and that age is truly just a number. Hayes brought the idea of teach-ins to the next level by hiring a national staff, and they were able to bring together a wide range of environmental movements who previously thought they were not at all related. And they brought together all those different people under one cause. The grassroots momentum grew itself from then on. That led to massive protests, like this one on Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. A quote from Hayes that struck me from a 2019 Times Q&A article was this. That's when people who didn't self-identify as conservationists were out there trying to protect their neighborhoods from the horrible air pollution. Today, this just isn't a reality, but it can be again. The massive success of Earth Day 1970 led to a great amount of environmental legislation during the 1970s, including the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, and the creation of the Environmental Protection Agency. So let me get this straight for a second. Democrats and Republicans both agreed to take national measures to protect the general public and the environment. 10% of the population publicly demonstrated for environmental action and actual laws were put into place. This all sounds great, but if Earth Day 1970 was such a big success, then why is the climate crisis worse today than it has ever been before, with ever-rising greenhouse gas emissions that will affect every aspect of our society? The answer to that question is a tough one. But one fact has become crystal clear. We need another Earth Day 1970 if we want to prove to our government that we all deserve a clean and livable future. As Pete McCloskey, former Republican Congressman of California and the co-chair of the first Earth Day, stated, "Never trust the government to adhere to the doctrine of the public trust. You've got to force them. It's going to be the courts that take the lead. And it's going to be the young people that force politicians to act." And this was a man speaking who was a congressman for 15 years. Now is the time to take action and not stand idly by while our futures go down the gutter. We know from history that it can be done, change can be made, and that most people deep down do care about this crisis, and once they notice enough people are acting, they will step up as well. We must be leaders in this situation, taking the hardest jobs of recognizing the problem and doing something about it, even when others might not. If Senator Nelson never dared to fight for a better future, or if Denis Hayes gave up hope in the face of a challenge, Earth Day would not have even been around today, along with many great environmental legislations. The Earth Day Network is planning on bringing to action over 1 billion people today. Go check out their website if you have not already. There are so many ways to take climate action today, ways that will inspire people to consider different viewpoints and respect one another's opinions. I challenge all of you watching this video to talk to someone about what you learned today and dare them to take action with you. Then together you can organize an event, go online, learn more about the issues facing our world, and then continue to inspire others into action. What is extremely important about this challenge is that you continue it past Earth Day, and that you don't let the message of this video slip your mind, or else we'll be back at square one. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we will achieve another Earth Day 1970 and beyond. Together, we will fight onward. Thank you, and I will see you at the next video.